The DaVinci method. You have probably heard about monk mode or any other protocols over the internet, but here is going to be mine. And by the way, I am obsessed with biohacking. So after this video, you are going to be able to increase the capacity of quality and performance inside the moment. You're gonna be able to become more effective. I am going to share all of my biohacking tips, tricks, hacks, routines, and so on. By the way, my name is JJ and I am the co-founder of marketing/AI chatbot agency Scaling Lab. And over the last years, I have worked with one of the best minds across multiple fields. And I have built multiple movements and companies. Some of them failed, some of them were successful, but I have a lot of lessons, insights from the markets that I am able to share with you. And why I'm creating these videos is only because I want that you think, do, and build differently. I actually hope that there was someone also like me when I was growing up, when I was like 16, 17, because right now I'm 19, that there was a guy actually showing the backstage of entrepreneurship, what it takes to be entrepreneurship, because it's not all about the business, it's about your personal life. That is a reflection actually inside the business. For example, this video is going to be the biohacking video. So with that said, take your notebook, take your pencil, get inside the focus zone without any distractions, and let's get inside the video. And ladies and gents, we are inside my PC, and here's the quick note I want to highlight. There's a lot of information over the internet, and it's getting harder and harder to filter the right information. But here's the thing, there is not a right answer. You have to just try out things, test yourself, those multiple routines, hacks, tips, and so on, and see what works for you, because all of us, we are unique. We have different types of DNA codes and so on. So it's your job to biohack yourself and see what works for you. So with that said, try to understand more the thinking framework behind my decisions when it comes down to structuring my day. All right, so with that said, let's dive inside my PC. So first of all, what is the DaVinci method? Second, what are the rules of it? How do I create DaVinci code? So I can actually give you a practical way how you are able to structure your own day. And the last one, what tools can improve my effectiveness inside the battlefield? So DaVinci code itself, it's not a classical routine that you can imagine that there is a priorities and then there is hardcore task and so on. It's based on a energy levels. Let me explain. And this is actually something I came up myself with. I didn't remember from which video, but why it's so important to structure the day based on the energy levels is because there is a moment that you have a lot of tasks, a lot of things to do, and let's say it's evening, it's 6 p.m. and you have structured your day like that at 6 p.m. you have a gym, and after that you have hardcore task because you have got that motivation, inspiration, and you think you got this. But what's really gonna happen is, in most cases, that after that gym, you're gonna not have a energy, because gym is high energy sucking task. You're gonna not have energy anymore for that big task that you have set yourself up for. And even if you're gonna perform that task, it's gonna not be with high quality. So the idea behind structuring the day based on energy levels is really just to be all in within the moment and with realistic expectations, what you can achieve and what you can do, and without losing that you're pushing beyond the limits, because actually you're gonna be able to literally 3x your performance than any other human who have all these hardcore tasks and they think they're gonna be great at them. Sorry for my language, but it's completely bullshit. We have limited amount of energy. that we are able to put down on the table. So the DaVinci method is based on energy levels instead of priorities. So the DaVinci method itself, first of all, the rules, all right, guys? So the rules itself, first of all, when you break the code, you go back to level 0. And let me explain you. What is the code? The code is your schedule, your routine. The code is your day. And for example, you have created for you the code and you're following like for 3-4 days, and then you decide, all right, maybe today I'm gonna not wake up at that 5 a.m. And what happens really is that you just lose, you break a piece inside the code. You have cheated on yourself. And then you start seeing randomly anxiety coming up, not being fulfilled, not having motivation, something not moving. So you start seeing the chaos. And that's how you pretty much destroy what you have built up. So it's really important actually in the routine of the DaVinci method to go step by step and not put all the efforts, we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, not to put all the weights at the beginning, but being actually realistic. Because when expectations are not met, the conflict is made and you lose the sense of reality, which is painful. You don't want to do that. So the code is your routine. Going next, creative, joyful activities must be included. All right. So this is not a method where it's gonna not be interesting, not gonna be fun, and so on. You're gonna become a robot, like most of the people are calling sometimes me. But you have to make it human, because you are human, and you have to include a joyful activities that makes you happy and so on. For example, something more creative like playing golf or going to art gallery and so on. We can actually tap this a little bit later on because this is crucially important. And lastly, which is the third one, gamify the day, gamify the routine. Like in games, when you are playing, you are getting in exchange something which we call reward. So the same for you. To make the game more interesting and to trick your brain a little bit, you have to set up a rewards. For example, if you push through a specific task or specific thing you don't like, for example, or even if you like, but you have been with relentless attitude inside the field, you have to reward yourself, because the brain gonna say, wow, all right, I like this. So if I like this, I am getting more motivated. If I am getting more motivated, I get progression. And from that, my brain says, hey, let's repeat this. So there's no problem to actually repeat the tasks and but stay relentless. Let's break down the fundamentals pretty much about the DaVinci method. There is habits, there's routines, and so on. Let's actually start with habits. So you have to decide what are going to be your habits. And here's the thing, guys. As I said, there's multiple habits, there's multiple scenarios how you can play with the habits. But the most important thing when it comes down to habits is that you have to simplify them. They cannot be all over the place. They cannot be tens or even hundreds of habits, all right? That's not realistic. You have to make it for your brain simple, all right? Max 3, maybe 5. That's it. That's max habits you should have, all right? Like that you cannot break. Because then your brain not gonna use a lot of brain power to actually implement them. And it's gonna be easier for you to put those habits, to code, to program them inside in your subconscious mind, and they're gonna just become on autopilot. You're gonna not need to think about them. They're gonna be literally engraved inside your DNA. So with that said, I'm gonna give you examples of my habits. of my must do, must not do, and so on, because there should be two scenarios. There should be bad habits and there should be daily habits, which are great ones. So these ones are that we are eliminating. So here is, first of all, guys, ladies, straight up, masturbation, sexual activities. This is speaking broadly. Like, this is killing yourself, all right? In the mains balls, there is something. I didn't remember what was the name, but it's generating for you the energy, for you the happiness. So you don't want to get it out from your body and so on. The same for a woman. It's a little bit more complicated. That's probably for a different video. But you don't want to fucking jerk off your balls on every second, third, or even fourth day. You don't want to do that, because then you're gonna feel the power. Actually, when you are inside the day, you're gonna feel more energized, more happy, and you're just gonna have more power within yourself, over you. You're gonna have the control, which is what you want. Moving forward, vaping, alcohol, drugs, and so on. For me, this is not a problem, but for most of the people, this is a huge problem. And this is, I think I even don't have to describe why. I can literally make a videos about each of these points 1 hour long. But vaping and alcohol is just, it's just like letting in the ocean an oil and then giving it to the person to drink. Literally, imagine a scenario right now. Vaping and drinking alcohol is like, here's a bottle of water, and you have oil. You put that oil inside the water that you have glass here. You mix it, you take it, and you drink it. And then there's the multiple chemicals that are messing up with your DNA. Why we want to have a routine and these habits is because we want to optimize our body so it can read our behaviors and actually put it on autopilot, so it doesn't require our brain power and body energy to actually always focus on these executions. So we can actually attribute our energy that we're spending on these activities to more meaningful, more impactful tasks. Let's move back. So we have understood bad habits, you have to have more, max 3 to 5. For me, it works really well. Social media, completely bullshit. Cut it off. Literally use it, not get used. That's what I can say about it. Then daily habits, gym plus sauna, for me, perfect. I think sauna, if you have the chance to go to the sauna, it's really important. You want to get your heartbeat actually up. That's about the gym more. Cardio and so on. You want to keep your body healthy. I have been, I am in an inner circle where almost no one can get inside with any amounts of money, and I am surrounded with really smart dudes. One of the best minds around the world within the field, Steve Jobs' mentor, Oren Klaff, the billion-dollar man, couple of billionaires, really great doctors, and all of them always are talking about health, and especially because they are more in their second part of their life, and that's something I have crucially just crafted inside my DNA and taking really seriously, because yeah, we have only one life and we don't want to mess it up, right? So with that said, let's go back. So the next one is learning, 100% leaning, not leaning, learning. Learning 45 minutes, that's must do for me. Then book reading, must do, and it's not just reading random books, but actually what is going to help me within the problem that I have at this moment, not reading books for its trend's sake and so on. Again, I can create long videos about each of these things. Visualization, must have. For others, it's meditation. For me, visualization is something better. I think it's so much better because it just works with your creativity and at the same moment also performs the same actions that meditation does. So with that said, that's about the habits. No, it's time actually to get inside the second part, which is the routines. So routines, it's must have. It's the pieces of the code. It's like a chain of the sequence. If you don't imagine you have a software, then the sequence is failed. It's like in programming. Your day is a software, and that every single of these things are like a code. All right, there is a mistake in the code, boom, the software doesn't work. All right, so it's really crucially important for you to have routines. For me, morning routine 45 minutes. How will I feel at today's evening? I ask myself a question. It just gets me more energized, more positive, actually seeing the day across already in the morning, giving that positive push and starting the day positive. Then about the visualization itself. So that's something I already described. Then there's the book, which is actually a book that is more philosophical, something more about improvement, like a mastery or daily loves, 48 daily loves. Then there's evening routine, tracking document. I have a tracking document, which I'm going to showcase you actually in a bit. Then there is prepare for the next day, must have. If you don't plan, you set yourself for a failure. When you plan, you decrease the percentage of failure, and you're able also to 3x your performance in the next day, because you don't have to think what you're going to do. That's what most people do. Then the book, which is more actually about the problem I'm trying to solve at that moment. Next thing, actually, tracking document. I'm going to showcase you quickly. Habit tracker. All right, this is must have, something I do every evening. I'm relentless. I'm honest with myself. I am brutal. If I don't execute something, then I don't execute. All right, I have to be brutal. And then at the end of the week, actually, I am able to see what's up with myself, how relentless I have been, and how I have followed through. So as you can see here, by the way, this isn't ClickUp. I'm using a software called ClickUp. It's really helpful, but this is something we're going to get a little bit later on. So every week I have this section, and there is 7 hours sleep, must have visualization, gym, 30-minute book reading, relentless attitude, here 45 minutes learning. All right, so here you can see I have multiple missing fields, and I am honest with myself. And then I am asking myself a question, why it is like that? I am trying to analyze. And then there can be two options. It can be because I have set expectations too high, or maybe I am just a pussy. That's the reality. All right, so two options. You have to be straightforward and honest with yourself. So moving back to the routines itself, there's also the work routine, which is must have. There's also a sleep routine for me and so on, but I don't want to complicate for you the beginning stage. The more easier the beginning stage, the more willing you're going to be able to start, actually. So simplify everything for you, for yourself. Work routine. I'm using Brain FM for music. I don't put on the YouTube or any other source when I'm working. So it's must have, but we're going to talk about this a little bit later on. But I definitely suggest you to actually use Brain FM. So this is a Brain FM. All right, you can choose sleep, relax, focus. Boom, we choose, for example, sleep, and we are able to click here and start the mode of focus, getting inside the focus. And that's the only music you need to listen. If you want to listen to rap or any other music, I don't suggest. It's just gonna get you distracted and so on, not really in the focus. And also you are able actually to here adjust your settings. You're gonna be able to learn about what type of music actually gets you more in the focus, so you're going to be able to increase the capacity of performance inside the moment. Must have, definitely to use. So the next one, work routine. Of course, no phone. Set a timer, 80-20 rule. I have, what is 80-20 rule? I set a timer on my PC for 80 minutes straight. I am working, then I have 20-minute break. Usually it's actually 10 minutes, not 20, but it's 80-20. That's the rule. You don't want to just get work. There needs to be sequences, all right? Otherwise, your brain is gonna not be able to recognize actually when it's time to actually separate the zones and take break. Because if you don't do so, you are losing a lot of quality inside the moment. So with that said, let's go back. All right, so focus one task at a time. Must have multitasking is biggest bullshit you ever gonna hear. I have talked with Jim Quick. You probably know him. Have been also, thanks to Ken, actually, and his Zoom calls, have learned a lot of things. And the number one thing I can say, multitasking is nonsense. You have to focus on one task. All right, so right now we're gonna actually dive inside the routine itself. How does my routine look like? And when it comes down to the energy levels, how am I structuring it? But before that, let me showcase you actually really important thing, literally the fundamental of how we are functioning as a humans. It's a system, it's an input, process, output, feedback. Let me showcase you so you can actually visualize it also yourself. So systems thinking. First of all, it's an input. For example, let's say we are eating fast food. Let's give a bad example. Fast food, we are taking in, process, it processes. Then there's output. It's probably the shit is coming out. Then the feedback, how our body is feeling. And then we take a decision whether this is going to be great or not great for us. And if great, then we're gonna repeat it. If not great, then we're gonna not repeat it. So besides this, this is the routine, by the way, guys. This is the routine. This one that you're gonna be able to see in a couple of seconds. But besides the routine, besides the habits, actions you are performing, there is also the environment, which is influencing everything. This is, again, different video I can create, but it's really important for you not just to structure the routine, the habits, and so on. The next level is actually optimizing your environment. What is the competition? What, for example, let me give you an example actually inside the working space. For example, when you're working, you want to have actually a cold temperature that's usually increasing, just decreasing the heartbeat, first of all, so it increases actually the focus. You want to, for example, have a no windows like I have right now. That's not for working, and so on. But there is, as I said, multiple things for different people, all right? So you have to try out your own things. There's, for example, when you're going sleep, environment. Is there sound? Is there lights? What is the temperature of the room? So there's many influencers that really are influencing your habits and your actions. So that's also something you have to think about and biohack. But remember, simplify always. Let's dive back and let's actually go to the real deal, which is the routine itself. All right, I'm gonna showcase you pretty much my own routine, how I am looking at it. So I have simplified everything, gonna not go inside hard science for the sake of your understanding. Gonna film the second version if you're gonna want, actually, of course. Gonna go more on deeper level. But 5 a.m. I am having the morning routine. 6:15 to 9:15 I have high energy tasks that are sucking a lot of energy from me. Those can be, for example, creating a execution game plan for a customer, or for example filming a video, because it's actually pretty draining, to be honest. I am already a little bit tired, and so on. Then after that I have a forced breakfast. Diet also is really important thing, but that's something we're gonna touch later on. Then 9:45 a.m. till 12 p.m. there's high energy work again. At the beginning, probably for you, it would be a medium task, because it's pretty hard to get immediately after back-to-back high energy work with high energy work. Then there is afternoon, and I have my afternoons routine, which is gym plus sauna. After that, I have free time a little bit where I play billiard, I have a book, I have a lunch, and so on. Then 2:15 to 4:15 I have medium light work, because I just had gym and sauna, and let's be real, I'm gonna not be able to perform on the highest capacity. And here can be team meetings, here can be, for example, smaller tasks such as signing agreements and so on. So that's about that. Then 4:15 to 6 I am filming a content. It's high energy work again, or its second version, light work. So I have here given me myself actually two options. And based on how I am feeling, I am making a realistic decision. Am I able to perform high energy task or light work? So it's always great to have options. Then in the evening, I have light work, pretty much brainstorming, more analyzing the day, more creative work, because I have found myself that I'm more creative in the evenings and I am able to pretty much watch at the chessboard and seeing all the matrices, putting together all the dots and creating something magical. So that's a zone where I am more in the brainstorm mode. Then there's the dinner, 7:15 to 8:10. There is analyze my day, prepare for the next. Then I have a free time for 1 hour. And then there's the evening routine, which we were talking about. So again, guys, as you can see, what you have to take here, as you can see at the beginning of the day, there is high energy tasks, and going throughout the day, it starts more energy levels just decreases. That's the reality. We are able to perform on lower scale of quality, so we have to be realistic. So what you want to do probably is have high energy work activities in the morning. Then you have gym and sauna, because you have to get your mind a little bit more fresh, go outside, breathe, inhale, exhale, have activities, get your blood circling back on its norm. So yeah, then you have medium and light work. So with that said, guys, as I said, there is multiple routines, there's multiple ways how you can structure your day, but mainly you have to understand that you have to set your day not based on priorities, but based on energy levels. But actually, if you look a little bit, high energy tasks probably gonna be your priorities too. So it's gonna be aligned. But when you're gonna be able to focus more structuring your day on energy levels, you're gonna be able to see how much happier you are feeling, that you are actually able to perform inside the field, and you're gonna not be like at 2 p.m. all right, I want to take a quick nap. You're gonna not be able to do that because you're gonna not want to do that. So one of the last things I want to actually mention is what each day stays for. So for example, for me, it's Mondays, it's onboarding, client onboarding. Then on Fridays, it's client calls and the improvements. Saturdays, it's creative day. So what I mean with this is we have with the team a creative day, which we call the DaVinci hours, where we have self-development calls and so on. It can be that you are painting, for example, at that specific day. You are doing something that you usually would not do. You're going to play golf, you're going to theater, you are going, which is really great. For example, if you're in the business, you are meeting people within different industries, for example, in art, or for example, in sports, or any other, because you are able to have different perspective. You are getting outside from your that zone that you are always in and have been throughout the week, and you're able to have different look. And what it does to your brain is not only it gives different perspective, but it also charges back the cells for your brain to actually have more creative brain. So you're able actually to perform and come up with better ideas. All right, let's dive back. So you understood the idea. For me, Sundays are day off. It's time to recharge. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, those are pretty much classical days where I'm just performing, doing, working inside the company, outside the company, and so on. All right, so lastly, those are going to be the tools for you to actually increase the performance. Those are the ones I am using at this moment, and I find them really helpful and productive. So let's dive back. So tools for effectiveness inside the DaVinci mode. So first of all, ClickUp, amazing software. You can use it for schedule and accountability. As I showed you, I didn't show you the schedule, but for accountability, tracking your habits, that's a must-have. Then Brain FM is a focus. 100% when you are working, use that. And lastly, let me take Lastly, notebook. Write down things, write out what's inside your mind. Because yeah, the man who can write his own thoughts are the man who can actually have influence over himself. The same about women. So with that said, that was the DaVinci code. I hope you actually found this really valuable. As I said, don't copy paste everything that I had. Find your own ways, test out, because I am not on its excellence of the code itself, because there's always a room for improvement. So I'm still biohacking the way out of me when it comes down to sleep, when it comes down to routines and any other sector. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have an amazing, powerful morning, afternoon, or evening, or even night. And see you in the next video.